Early afternoon here in Barcelona on the show floor of the Mobile World Congress 2015. Back to the TechLounge studio here at the Intel booth in Hall 3. So if you still want to come over to Barcelona and to the Mobile World Congress, make sure to stop by at Hall 3. Not only that you can watch us doing the live stream, of course, but you can also see what Intel is going to offer you. I have Constantin Falcoianu. He is the business development manager of TeamViewer. Tell us a little bit about TeamViewer.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having us here. TeamViewer is one of the leading software solutions for remote support and online meetings worldwide. We have a user base of over 200 million users, and the software is translated in more than 30 languages. So yeah, that's quite a lot. And from the use cases that we support, so it's a software for remote assisting users that are not that tech savvy on their devices. It can be a desktop PC, but it can be also a mobile device. Yeah. So the whole ecosystem that we are supporting includes Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, Windows Phone devices, and also BlackBerry.
So it's a kind of software client-server architecture. So I'm installing a server on one desktop or one device or a mobile device even, and I will have a kind of remote client that can then access this device.
Exactly, yes. You install two pieces of software, one on the client side, one on the server side. It can be the same software, and then you can take over the other device. You can troubleshoot it, remote control it. We have features integrated like chat, voice over IP, video, file transfer, change of directions. You can even do an unattended access. So if nobody should be on the remote side, like you're today here in Barcelona, and you have a PC running in Germany at home and would like to access some data or some apps there, then you can do it. And there's no need that you have somebody in front of it in Germany.
Right. So just to give us an idea about the usual use case for this. Is this more for kind of service and support issues when users are having problems with their devices so that a supporter can just access them and can just help them around?
Exactly, yes. That's the main use case. It can be a user that has trouble with his device and he receives support in real time. So he calls his supporter, tells that he has a problem with his device, and then the optimal case is supporter sends a link to the user. He just clicks on the link. This puts them into the same session. So that's even not required that they exchange any ID or password. It's absolutely secure. It's point-to-point encrypted. And as I said, it also works on mobile devices. And the good thing about it, maybe also for the listeners and viewers here at the show, is that it's free for consumers. That means if you would like to help your family, friends, relatives, then you can just use TeamViewer absolutely for free at no cost. And it works very fast and out of the box.
You're on the market like forever. I know you forever.
Thanks a lot.
Not you personally, but I know TeamViewer for way over a decade.
Yes, exactly. You're right. So we celebrated this year our 10th anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are in business since 2005, and the growth was just unimaginable. And we still grow at a very fast pace. And that's, of course, due to a very good software and to the services that we offer. And also because it's for free for users, and they like to use it. They use it first privately, a lot of them, and then when it comes to a business decision, for example, for using it in their office or in their company, also a lot because they have good experience with TeamViewer from the private usage. They take it, and they also then would need to purchase a license, which is also very affordable.
That's what I thought. If it's free, how can you make money?
Yeah, it's free for consumers. We have licenses for businesses. So if you're a business user, you would have to purchase a license for using TeamViewer. The licenses are very inexpensive because we have another approach to the market than a lot of our competitors do have. So in TeamViewer, you have, for example, mostly floating licenses. So it doesn't really matter how many clients you need to support with that solution. It also doesn't matter how many supporters you have in your own company. And the only thing that matters is how many simultaneous connections you would like to establish. And we also have perpetual licenses. That means you pay one-time fee, and then you have this license and can use it forever. As you said, there is no limitation in that. If you want to do an update, that's absolutely up to you or to the company.
Right.
Then so you can freely decide, are the features in the next version of TeamViewer interesting for your company, then you do the update, of course. Otherwise, you just keep on using your older version.
Can you tell us how many of your 200 million users are actually paying for a license or upgraded?
That's a question that we get asked a lot. And of course, it's not like millions of them that pay for it. It's a small portion, so the absolute majority is, of course, a consumer. But we have hundreds of thousands of business users that use it regularly for either doing internal remote support for their own employees, or that are supporters that are outsourced, for example, for companies and do then support of server maintenance, or real-time support if users have problems.
This is definitely, really, I would love to make a statement for this. I love the idea of freemium software. I love the idea of paying for something that I really like, even though it's free, because this kind of, it enables the developers and those companies behind to optimize the software and to develop it any further. So I'm pretty sure that we have TeamViewer users out there. Make sure to chip in some money. Make sure to upgrade to a license so that these guys can constantly improve this platform, because it's a brilliant platform. I'm also using it. I'm actually not sure if we have upgraded it, right? But we're going to do this definitely right away, because it's been so helpful. So many reasons that I have. And what I really like right now is that you've extended your infrastructure into completely new operating systems and moving into the mobile market with smartphones and tablets.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's also a big step for us, especially with this background, given that more and more devices are touch devices, are mobile, and this even challenges companies more than before, because if you, for example, provide a support to your own employees, they can be in the same building if they have a problem on the desktop PC, so you can just walk over and fix that. If they have it on a tablet or on a smartphone, and they travel with it, they use it in a mobile way, then it's of course harder to get track of them, to have physical access to the device, and then remote support even plays a bigger role. And we have made inroads, especially with Android devices, where we support almost the whole market. And it's like this: if you have a problem on your Samsung or Sony device with Android, and it should be a software issue, somebody can take over your device. He sees it on his desktop, and that's also a very nice thing about TeamViewer, that it's cross-compatible with so many operating systems. So you can use it to establish a connection from Windows to Mac, or from Mac to Linux, from Linux to Android, and so on. So everything is mixed up, and that's exactly how the environments in our corporate and also in our personal lives are, right? You don't have just Windows devices at home. You have like a mix of Windows Phone and Android, iOS, maybe, Linux, and so on, depending on the device itself. And that's also something very nice, that we cover such a broad range of devices, and you can use it on no matter which device.
I just love the idea, or not only the idea, but really using it, right? Picking up my Android phone and remote controlling a Windows desktop somewhere.
Yeah.
That's just so cool.
That's very cool. And you can also, it gives us more possibilities of using apps or software that is not running natively on Android, right? So you have like some legacy apps on your Windows device that is just not running on Android, and you can still access it even on the go, and use it on your Android phone. So that's also very nice. Or if you imagine you sit in front of your desktop and you would like to write a WhatsApp or so, you just connect with TeamViewer to your Android device and you write it on your keyboard, on the physical keyboard, instead of doing it on the smartphone.
Tell us a little bit about the challenges of creating a proper, of course, based on the bandwidth, a proper performance, and of course working on the latency. I guess that was the biggest challenge, huh?
Yeah, that's a huge challenge, and we have made it very fast and very responsive. So there's a lot of background work that normal users just don't see. So they just experience it works out of the box, and it's pretty fast, even with low bandwidth. So the challenges were, for example, what we have implemented is that if you do a remote support and the picture is just not moving, it's static, then it doesn't need that permanent grabbing anymore.
Right.
So we just
so you're not refreshing it, you're just refreshing the changes.
Exactly. Just the changes are refreshed, and just those are sent over to the client, and that of course saves a lot of bandwidth. And we have a scaling feature in TeamViewer and a quality optimizing feature. So depending on the bandwidth, TeamViewer is by default set that way that you actually do not have to take care about the bandwidth that you're using. You just establish the session, and if the bandwidth should be, for example, low, it just doesn't display like true color images and so on. So you see the images are a bit blurred, and later on they are sharp again, because the main focus of real support is that you can access the device fast and don't have like huge latencies. Exactly, or we just don't show the background color or the wallpaper that you have, for example, on the desktop, right? Also, that's of course also optional. You can set it up as you would like to have it, but by default, it's also taken out. So.
Constantin, you also have a relationship with Intel, right, in terms of the software, right? So what I saw is you're also offering a 4K support right now. That must be quite a lot of data that is just running through the line.
Yeah, that's right. So as more and more 4K devices are coming out, it's also important for us, of course, to offer 4K support. And there we also had, of course, challenges. So if you have like a 4K device that you need to support, but you are on a 2K device, and now I'm coming back to the performance, we don't transmit the 4K because it wouldn't make sense. You can't see it that way on your 2K device, so we just transmit 2K. And of course, if you should have yourself a 4K device, you connect to a 4K device, then it's transmitted in full HD and in 4K, and you see brilliant colors and very, very good depth.
But you need to make sure, especially when you're mobile, that you have a proper LTE connection, don't you? Or what about the data stream that is running? The way you're calculating it, the way you're compressing it.
Yeah.
I don't really need this. I don't need 50 Mbit for this.
No, you don't. It's working with a normal broadband connection, and you don't need to be on LTE. It can work also with an edge connection, and that's the same thing here. So the resolution on the mobile phone is much higher usually than you have it on the desktop, and then also not the whole resolution is like transmitted to you, but just what you really need to see and what you need to do. So yeah, we put a lot of thinking into that. It's working in any case with 4K devices. I think that's good also for other projects, as you know, even TVs are becoming smart, and you also have like a lot of 4K TVs now. It's possible to use TeamViewer even on devices where it hasn't been possible previously.
Yeah. And
that's, of course, also a very interesting topic.
So what's the next big thing for you guys? I mean, now you're on all these different platforms. You're on mobile. Are you getting on my smartwatch or on smart glasses in the future?
Yeah, maybe. So one topic we also have with Intel is perceptual computing.
There you go.
There you go. You wanted to hear that. Yeah, and with that, we do some basic research on a prototype, how this could be used potentially in future. And there might be very good use cases for the industry, especially if you think about, so maybe one word to perceptual computing for the listeners that don't know what it is about. So this should help users actually to improve their decisions based on additional information, to put it on a high level. And it can be, just to give you a hands-on example, it can be during surgery. Mm-hmm. A doctor has a problem, has a look at the patient, but doesn't know really what to do. He's a specialist, but maybe it needs other specialists to tell him what he can do. And we experienced also some demand in this sector to remotely provide help for use cases that are out of IT support. So it could be the case that another doctor helps a doctor during a surgery via TeamViewer to do the right decision, to do the right thing in the surgery. Or, don't know, you have like a very fancy car, what I actually expect as German from you, and you bring it to a garage. A mechanic doesn't know exactly how to fix that problem. Another mechanic can look at that car and look at the engine, see things or put something there in a virtual environment that is not there in reality, and by that help to build it right or to solve a problem.
That's quite interesting, because this is kind of creating a one-by-one support infrastructure for the service sector, right? If you really need some help, right, and you can't solve the problem on your own, and you might have kind of virtual headset with a little camera on there, connecting to a specialist somewhere in the back end, right, and just looking for the right technical details and information that you need. I think that's absolutely amazing. So you've been here on the show for the whole week?
Just until Wednesday. Okay. So tomorrow is my last day.
Did you have the chance to walk around a little bit?
Not yet, unfortunately. So we have been very busy with meetings.
Sitting in the bubbles.
Yeah, from bubble to bubble.
Yeah.
And from meeting to meeting. But it's a very good show, as always here. It's very, very tailored to mobile, and as this is one of our targets as well, it's also a natural fit for us to be here and to talk to relevant persons. Yeah, but it's very nice, and we also meet like a lot of very interesting persons here.
Well, likewise. Thank you so much, Konstantin. So if you guys want to try out TeamViewer, and once again, I'm sure that we have some of these over 200 million active users. One of the best, if not the best, remote desktop client-server architecture software that is out there, freely available for personal use, and you also have professional licenses available. TeamViewer.com, and you can download the app over there.
Exactly. So. Just go to TeamViewer.com, and
no matter what operating system, you're supporting them all.
We detect with which operating system you are surfing the web page, and you can download TeamViewer with just one click from the homepage. Fantastic,
Konstantin. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Next on our schedule, just give me a quick look at this, is we are going to show you a little hands-on video for the next 5 minutes. And next on our schedule will be Michael Green from Intel. He's the Vice President of Software and Service Group. And then we're going to ask him all about all the questions about, the challenges of bringing x86 to the Android platform. Right? It's going to be quite interesting. So I see you then.